And we spent a lot of time, and I believe it was our duty to ask the issues that Americans care about. You know, the economy. Are we better off than we were 4 years ago? Immigration. What are you going to do about the border? Why did you wait so long before you acted at the border? Those types of questions. Reproductive rights. Afghanistan. Do you bear any responsibility? Peaceful transfer of power with the next election coming. You know, these are all really important issues. The issues of our time, really. And I always say as a moderator, you know, what the candidates decide to do with that time, you can ask the questions, but they'll answer with whatever they choose to answer with. That's right.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. We've got some news about this ABC presidential debate with the moderators speaking out. David Muir and the ABC moderators have been accused of doing something to the footage. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, watch the video to the end. Let's get into it.
None of that comes out. Fortunately, we now have a whistleblower, and I'm going to tell you something, Maria. We're gonna do what we can to bring ABC in and have them answer some questions, and as well as have this whistleblower and see what's going on as they're trying to tear down the First Amendment.
I'm glad you mentioned this because Fox News is reaching out to ABC for response to that affidavit and this Bill Ackman post about this whistleblower. We want answers, but Bill Ackman posted this on X about an alleged ABC whistleblower affidavit that says Harris's campaign dictated the debate questions, camera angles, and the fact-checking of Trump at the debate. He writes, quote, "Sadly for the state of truth in media, I expect the whistleblower allegations will be deemed to be true." Ackman also pointed out that ABC News' David Muir and Lindsay Davis have yet to make any statements on the alleged affidavit. He said, quote, "If you are not guilty as alleged, you have no choice but to immediately issue a statement denying the claims, for silence is an admission of complicity." ABC News has already denied allegations of collusion between the presidential debate moderators and the Harris campaign. We know Lindsay Davis is her sorority sister, but they told the Daily Beast last week, absolutely not. Harris was not given any questions before the debate. We've reached out to ABC to verify the affidavit and for a statement on these accusations, Congressman. But this affidavit and this whistleblower story is gaining traction.
Yes, absolutely, and as it should. We need to find out what the truth is. And the thing is this, we all saw it. We actually don't need a hearing to know what we saw, but we're going to look to do it so as we can provide some evidence as to how manipulative they are.
Yes, we saw it with our own eyes. It was plain and clear. Everything was one-sided. No fact-checking for Harris, none whatsoever. It seems that the whistleblower incident is accurate. And I did another video on that. I'll link it at the end of this one. But it says very clearly in the affidavit, which was dated a day before the debate on September 9th, saying that there were certain questions that the moderators were not allowed to ask Harris because that's where she's weak. Okay, she was hand-delivered the questions. They were not fact-checking her. We all know that an ABC exec is a friend of hers, and Lindsay Davis, the female moderator, is her sorority sister. So this is rigged, very much one-sided, and everything that Kamala Harris said, it wasn't true. There was absolutely no truth to it, but she wasn't fact-checked on the lies, but Donald Trump was fact-checked on his telling the truth. Because honestly, I follow politics kind of close now, more than I ever have. And everything I already knew without any fact checking that Kamala Harris was lying and Donald Trump was telling the truth. So I'm going to show you all this article right here. So this article is from the Daily Beast. Okay, it says ABC finally addresses MAGA affidavit claiming it helped Harris win the debate. All right, so reading this article, oh gosh, these people. It says ABC News has again insisted that no topics or questions were shared with either Vice President Kamala Harris or Donald Trump and their respective campaigns in advance of last week's presidential debate. So here they are denying that questions were shared. They said no questions were shared with either candidate. The network's statement came after it declined to directly address allegations made in an allegedly sworn statement purportedly by one of his staff, that it helped Harris on the debate. It says the claims are made in a document which itself has become a viral sensation among MAGA influencers and has been amplified by leading Trump allies like Marjorie Taylor Greene. The document was first published Sunday by an X account with nearly 100,000 followers in the name Black Insurrectionist as a 6-page affidavit, which claimed to have been written by an ABC technical worker the day before the debate. All right. And that's what it says right here. It also says the name of the person who signed the document is obscured, but in the 6 pages, they make claims which, if true, would be explosive. The allegations include that Harris's team allegedly negotiated specific camera angles to portray Kamala Harris more favorably than Trump. The document also claims the campaign negotiated rules with ABC without involving the Trump team, and it managed to get the network to avoid specific topics, including President Joe Biden's health, Harris's tenure as Attorney General, and her brother-in-law and advisor, Tony West. In a statement to the Daily Beast, ABC News did not address any of these specific allegations. ABC News allowed the debate rules that both campaigns they said that both campaigns agreed on, which clearly state no topics or questions will be shared in advance with campaigns or candidates. Wow. The alleged whistleblower's claims have received support and online bolstering from right-wing figures like billionaire Bill Ackman. A pinned post on X by him is an open letter to Disney CEO Robert Iger demanding an investigation into the matter. And it says Senator Ted Cruz and other Republican politicians state that if this is accurate, and I do not know that it is, it would constitute one of the gravest violations of journalist ethics in presidential debate history. Now, we all can see with our own eyes and ears, just like I stated a moment ago, that everything about that debate was one-sided. And I just remember very clearly, this image just popped up in my mind. They would fact-check Donald Trump. And I remember Lindsay Davis rolling her eyes at Donald Trump. She was like, and went to Kamala Harris. So clearly you can see that this debate was not done as well as CNN's debate. CNN, I couldn't tell anything was done, messy or anything like that, but ABC wasn't even hiding it. They were, and that's what I'm saying. Like journalism today, I studied journalism. We're supposed to be unbiased, but now it's all messed up. You are supposed to be, I guess, allegedly biased, sensationalist, not really following the facts, just siding with one side and demonizing the other side. And that was clear during that debate. And again, this is on the dailybeast.com. And I put the link to this article in the description so you can check it out. But all of this, everything that's stated here, and we saw the actual debate and how that went down. Let's check out another clip.
You wouldn't have known that if it really was something that was legitimately sent on September 9th from watching the debate. All right, so it says thing about the podium. He says she negotiated to look a certain way on the split screens. He says that ABC News agreed to fact check Trump only and not her. He says that they provided sample questions, not the exact questions, he alleges, but sample questions covering similar topics that would appear during the debate. He says that they had agreed certain topics would be off limits, including the perceived health of Joe Biden, her tenure as Attorney General, and her brother-in-law, Tony West, who used to work at DOJ and is accused of
I had to sneeze.
settling cases at very large numbers when the plaintiffs were Democrat operatives or anyone he thought he wanted to or could curry favor with. That's a short form description of all that. He talks about the observed bias against Trump within ABC. And then he says in this affidavit, I have secretly recorded several conversations that will prove the Harris campaign insisted upon not only the fact checking of Donald Trump, but also insisted on what questions were not to be asked under any circumstances, or else the Harris campaign would decline to participate in the debate. All right. This is all there. Do not know. We went through some of the questions about the affidavit. It's not the most beautiful document I've ever seen. A lot of not grammatical errors. Actually, there aren't any. There's no spelling errors, but there are grammatical errors in it. And then there's a notary public seal or sign without the seal, but Black Insurrectionist says He's redacted the seal, and a notary public seal does reveal the identity of the notary. So that it would make sense if you're trying to maintain anonymity all around that you might do that. Okay, so we don't know. We don't know whether this is real or not real, but we are open-minded to it, and we are trying to report on the story. Well, not surprisingly, those who are covering it in the media are dumping on it, laughing at it. We'll find out whether it deserved to be laughed at. But ABC News finally responded. They finally responded. Kamala Harris has not responded. And this is what they said. They gave a statement to the Daily Beast. Quote, ABC News followed the debate rules that both campaigns agreed on and which clearly state no topics or questions will be shared in advance with campaigns or candidates. That's it. We followed the rules which state no topics or debate questions will be shared in advance. What? Did you have private negotiations with Kamala Harris and her campaign? Did you agree that you would have a special look on stage from the podium to the split screen situation? Did you agree that you wouldn't ask about Tony West, about her tenure as AG, about her, about President Biden's mental fitness and her role in covering it up? Did you agree to any of that? Do you deny that there could possibly be tapes of an executive or someone at ABC News reiterating that promise or making it in the first instance? This is so generic and empty as to cause more concerns than we had yesterday. It is not a denial that sounds like a truth-telling denial. I've anchored many presidential debates, as you know. If you ever accused me of any of this, what I would say is I can categorically deny that we did any of this.
See, the statement from ABC News, all it dealt with was the questions, but it looked like sample questions were given. And see, they didn't go into detail. It was very shallow. It didn't come out immediately. There's a lot of mess going on. And you know, prayer warriors, I've been praying that no matter what the Democrats do, that it won't work. That's what I've been praying. So we got to still keep praying. Be on the wall, warriors, because these people are out here doing the most camera angles. Now, the questions that the whistleblower said that they were not supposed to ask, they actually didn't ask. I didn't hear them ask about her tenure as Attorney General. I didn't hear them ask about Biden's mental decline. They didn't ask those questions, did they? So we don't, like Megyn Kelly said, that of course was Megyn Kelly. We don't know if it's true, but it appears to be, but we don't know. And if it turns out not to be true, then hey, we'll address it. I'll address it on this channel. But as of right now, we just don't know. We don't know if there's any validity to this. But why didn't ABC categorically deny any of this? The fact that they didn't, when someone accuses you of something, you go, I did not do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, that did not happen, and here's the proof. I did not do that. Okay? And Megyn Kelly did acknowledge that there was no notary seal, but sometimes you will give away who the notary is. So you have to have anonymity. Of course, I get that part. But sometimes things are true. We don't know. But only time is going to tell. Let's take a look at another clip.
I will say this about the debate. You guys know me better than anyone. You know, I basically disappeared for the end of the summer.
I know.
The weight of this debate. You take it seriously, Lindsay and I, and this extraordinary small team we have at ABC. And we spend a lot of time, and I believe it was our duty to ask the issues that Americans care about. You know, the economy. Are we better off than we were 4 years ago? Immigration. What are you going to do about the border? Why did you wait so long before you acted at the border? Those types of questions. Reproductive rights. Afghanistan. Do you bear any responsibility? Peaceful transfer of power with the next election coming. You know, these are all really important issues. The issues of our time, really. And I always say as a moderator, you know, what the candidates decide to do with that time, you can ask the questions, but they'll answer with whatever they choose to answer with. That's right. And you have to be ready for whatever might come your way, even the most unexpected of moments. As you all know, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I will say this. All of the noise that you hear afterward about, you know, which candidate won the debate, did the moderators win or lose, that's just noise. You all know that. The most important thing to remember is that you all have the power. Everybody at home has the power to...
So according to David Muir of ABC, all the noise you hear after the debate is just noise. It's just noise. Yeah, so I'm glad that he did mention some things, but one of the things that stood out to me in his interview here is that he said that he did ask supposedly good questions, but the problem I had is there was no pushback on the answers that Kamala Harris gave. You know, the question about whether or not people are better off now versus 4 years ago. She started off talking about, well, I grew up in a middle class home. My mom worked and she took care of us and she worked hard and this, all around that. The question was, do you think people are better off now than they were 4 years ago? And he's saying you got to just take whatever answer they give you. But you didn't do that with Donald Trump. He gave an answer and you fact checked him. You didn't push back on Kamala Harris, but you pushed back on him. See, these people they full of it. They full of that stinky stuff. That's what they full of. Let's check out a clip from Fox News.
Her debate team has been an upheaval because they haven't gotten that. Karen Dunn, who's in charge of debate prep, is being described as morose because she wants to have this Kavanaugh-like moment where she's prosecuting the case. She did it to Mike Pence. Let me speak. But there may be some nuance to the rules. Yes, I'm speaking. MJ Lee of CNN says this. There have been some assurances offered to the Harris campaign about how the network would handle any moments of significant crosstalk. So the mics are muted, but who's the muter? Who's doing the muting? Because that guy's got a lot of power if he isn't giving assurances about crosstalk.
The Kamala Harris team was making all these demands, crying about it, whining. I got to have this. I got to have ABC. I got to have this. I got to have that. So I don't think Donald Trump should do another debate unless he gets his way the way Kamala Harris. Now, he doesn't need help with questions. Okay, we already know that. He doesn't need questions ahead of time. He doesn't care about camera angles. None of that. Okay, he just might want to choose a conservative network with moderators who he trusts, since she got to pick them. She got to pick the moderators and the network. And all these other stipulations built in that certain questions will not be asked. I just don't know where journalism went to hell. I just don't know. We just don't know. But as this story develops even more, I will be on it and give you guys what you want to hear on this. But this seems to be gaining a lot of traction, a whole lot of traction. And I think all the stuff that they're doing is going to come out. And I've said it over and over again. Whatever's done in secret comes to the light. Nothing formed, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Now, some of us are true believers. We don't know the salvation status of Donald Trump, but I know that God is using him. Some call him the modern day Cyrus. And we just got to believe that none of what they try to do to try and fix things to make Kamala Harris look good is going to work. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America. And as they always say, march on, warriors.